The reality is that every project that turns dirt, regardless of the sector that you care about, encounters habitat, alters landscape, creates unavoidable interactions with nature, triggering hundreds of reviews and regulations that govern infrastructure permits at the federal, state, and local level. As the chairman knows all too well, as you can see from the chart, is that infrastructure permitting is carried out by 13 agencies operating under the authority of dozens of statutes, some of which are more than 100 years old. The result is a permitting process mired with excessive delays and litigation risk that stifles investment. Now, the Energy Act of 2020, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, CHIPS, IRA, they provided unprecedented funding for our nation's critical infrastructure. However, the omission of significant permitting reforms in this legislation is undermining one of the largest single federal investments in infrastructure since the Depression. While Congress has agreed on modest process reforms to achieve greater coordination and efficiency, these surface-level process changes have only served as Band-Aids and are not the necessary surgical cure. To be clear, interagency coordination and transparency, dashboards, executive orders, White House permitting action plans, and a strengthened federal permitting improvement steering council are very much needed. However, they are not the sufficient step to reduce the hundreds of billions of dollars in costs associated with infrastructure permitting across all sectors. Even with the subset of reforms in the Fiscal Responsibility Act just recently in the debt limit deal, which represent the most significant legislative changes to NEPA in 40 years, in practice, developers will still experience most of the same obstacles and avoidable process delays that have plagued this system for decades. Truly impactful legislation will have to move beyond macro-level NEPA changes and untangle the web of confusion and uncertainty in this chart. The challenges and costs inflicted by our broken permitting system do not discriminate by sector. Whether it was the extra 3 years on the Mid-Barrett Coastal Restoration Project, or as the chairman knows all too well, with offshore wind, in the last 2 years, the Federal Permitting Improvement Steering Council Executive Director has received and approved more than 17 requests from lead permitting agencies to extend the completion dates for at least 10 offshore wind projects on the dashboard, creating an additional 10 years that was not anticipated at the beginning of the permitting timetable. This is not unique to offshore wind. It's for traditional fossil fuel, broadband, water, you name it. The problem is getting worse, not better, at a time when we can least afford it. No one wins under the current system, not the companies on the front lines of transitioning the U.S. harnessing technology for greener energy generation and storage, not the environment, and not the majority of Americans that will bear the brunt of these increased energy and environmental costs. On average, project developers reported that 20 to 30% of total project cost is wasted on delays. All these costs are ultimately passed on to citizens, either through taxes, tolls, or increased rates and usage fees. It's not all bad news. We've seen glimpses of what sound reform can do, and there's an opportunity for lawmakers to build and expand on the reforms enacted over the last decade. But in order to do that, the process must be transparent. At present, outside of the Federal Permitting Council, some small issues at DOE and FERC, and the DOT projects tracked under one federal decision under the IIJA, there is no central repository and real-time tracking and the inventory and status of projects navigating their way through the federal agencies. The lack of process transparency allows for gamesmanship of 2-year timelines, and the lack of publicly available data prevents stakeholder engagement and our ability to accurately diagnose the problem. We don't need to hide the problems. This is not a Republican or a Democrat issue. It is a process issue we can fix. The beauty of transparency is that the facts now drive this debate, not hyperbole and posturing. The reality is that the last significant study of NEPA timelines was completed by the Council of Environmental Quality.
Happy Friday, friends. I have a new stimulus check update. There are at least 24 states that are testing out new programs to provide extra financial help to many Americans. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being put towards this relief. My dearest friends, you may qualify for direct monthly payments. Please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for everything that you need to know. Also, do stay tuned because I'll be announcing the winners of today's Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. A total of 24 states across the U.S. are testing the benefits of offering basic income with no strings attached to individuals and families who are in need. And more than $200 million has now been reportedly allocated for various pilot programs across the country. The state with the most basic income trials is California, with programs distributing money in Los Angeles, Compton, Oakland, San Diego, San Francisco, Sonoma County, and Stockton. Several of those trials are fueled by a $35 million, 5-year guaranteed income initiative, which was signed by California Governor Gavin Newsom. The city of Long Beach, California, is providing funds to vulnerable families through a guaranteed income pilot program, and payments will be issued in 12 days. The Long Beach Pledge, which was launched by Long Beach Recovery Act, opened applications last year, promising $500 a month for 1 year to 250 families living in the city of Long Beach. The payments will be sent out on the third Wednesday of the month. The city of Long Beach was selected to receive the funds because it saw the highest need based on poverty rates and the effects of the crisis. About half of the residents in the area live below 150% of the poverty level. The city issued $2 million to the program in partnership with the nonprofit organization Fund for Guaranteed Income. That separate fund has also launched a different guaranteed income program in the city of Compton, which has provided 800 families with payments between $300 and $600 a month. Early results from a $1.8 million basic income trial in Denver, Colorado, suggest such programs can offer a safety net for people facing financial hardships. Participants who were provided $600 to $12,000 per year say they are largely using the money to cover basic needs. They also say the program is relieving stress levels and increasing the amount of hope they have for their future. In Rochester, New York, a new guaranteed basic income program will provide a monthly payment of $500 to 351 individuals for 1 year. Applicants must be at least 18 years of age and are required to have been a Rochester resident for at least 1 year, with a household income below 185% of the federal poverty level. Although used car prices are still stubbornly high and inventories historically low, things have improved so far in 2023. Chris Ray, the Senior Manager of Economic and Industry Insights at Cox Automotive, has recently told reporters the last several months have followed very closely to 2019's level, which was the last normal year we have seen. The average used car buyer paid $27,147 in June year over year, and used car prices were down 6% in June. According to automotive economist Jonathan Smoke, recent trends are part of a larger move away from the volatility of the crisis era, when a convergence of factors caused prices to surge dramatically. This is including supply, demand, loan rates, and incomes. Noting that retail used prices have dipped about 3% from their peak in April, Jonathan Smoke predicts used vehicles will become more affordable in the second half of 2023, as inflation continues its descent to a soft landing. Recent trends point to a calmer and more predictable auto market in future months compared to the road traveled in recent years. Over the last 3 years, demand has often been more than the market could bear. The U.S. inflation rate currently sits at 3%, compared to 4% last month and 9.1% last year. This is the lowest rate since March 2021 and is significantly contributing to recent used car trends. However, supply and low inventory is still a worry. According to analysts, inventory has somewhat stabilized, but because automakers built 8 million fewer cars during the crisis, used car lots might be emptier than both dealers and buyers would like for years. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Friday. My dear friends, thank you so much for joining me here and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway every Friday. Please make sure that you enter these giveaway friends by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The winners of today's Walmart gift card giveaway is Bernice Jackson and Judith Owen. Congratulations, my dearest friends! To claim your gift cards, please check your notifications page and send me a message, or you can message me on my Facebook page. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed Friday.